Let's talk about that chilling rumor we've all heard. The one about the loyal Doberman that one day just snaps and turns on its family. But is there any actual truth to it? Today, we are going to separate the scary stories from the real science.
Yeah, it's a story that really sticks with you, right? It's that chilling rumor you might hear at the dog park or see floating around online. And the image it paints is just powerful. A dog that was a beloved member of the family suddenly becoming a threat. This is the exact fear we are going to dive into. So, the big question is this infamous legend really true? That's what we're here to figure out. We're going to dig into the biology, the veterinary science, and the actual hard data to see what's what. All right, let's kick things off with the myth itself. I mean, where in the world did this terrifying reputation even come from?
Next up, we're going to put two of the biggest, most persistent rumors to the test. Let's see if they can stand up to what we know about, basic biology.
Okay, this is probably the most famous and, honestly, the most gruesome claim. The whole idea is that a Doberman's brain just keeps growing, creating this immense pressure and pain, which then causes them to violently snap. But here's the reality check. This is completely 100% false. There's absolutely zero scientific evidence for it. A dog's brain stops growing when it hits maturity, just like a human brain does. The myth might have gotten confused with a real but very rare condition called syringomyelia, and that mostly affects spaniels, not Dobermans. And here's the second big one, the whole lockjaw idea. It really adds to that image of an inescapable, deadly machine, right? The fear is that if a Doberman ever bites down, it's physically impossible for them to let go.
Well, the truth is, this is also a total myth. A Doberman's jaw anatomy is exactly the same as a Golden Retriever's or a Poodle's or any other dog. There's no special locking mechanism. Sure, they have a strong bite, but their jaws absolutely do not lock. So now that we've debunked all that biological fiction, let's move on and find out who the Doberman really is, according to the people who know them best, the experts and the breeders.
I mean, this nickname is just a perfect example of the breed's actual temperament. Far from being these unpredictable loners, Dobermans are so attached to their people that they're often called Velcro dogs. They literally just want to be stuck right by your side. And this didn't happen by accident. The Doberman Pinscher Club of America makes it super clear that responsible breeders have spent decades on purpose breeding for stability and a family-friendly nature. They've been actively moving away from the breed's more aggressive origins as a protection dog. So what about this number? What does the number 5 mean? Well, this is where the Doberman ranks for intelligence among all dog breeds in the world. Yep, the 5th smartest dog breed. But what does that actually mean in real life? It means they're incredibly trainable. Like, they can learn new commands in fewer than 5 tries, and they'll obey them over 95% of the time. This high level of intelligence and responsiveness actually makes them safer and more reliable partners. Okay, so if they aren't malicious, then why do these stories about sudden aggression even exist? Well, this section gets to the real heart of the issue. And trust me, it's not what you think. To understand this, let's look at a real-world example. Meet Atlas. He was a 5-year-old Doberman and, by all accounts, just a super gentle and loving part of his family. Then, the owner's absolute worst fears seemed to be coming true. When she tried to put his collar on, Atlas growled at her. Was he turning? Was that horrible myth becoming a reality in her own home? A trip to the vet revealed the real truth. Atlas wasn't being aggressive. He was in pain. Turns out he had Wobblers Syndrome, which is a common and painful neck condition in Dobermans. It made having his collar touched absolutely excruciating. His growl wasn't an attack. It was a cry for help. And it's not just physical pain. Other medical conditions can be a huge factor. Dr. Jean Dodds, who is a leading expert in this area, points out that sudden aggression can be one of the very first signs of hypothyroidism, which is basically a low-functioning thyroid. And that's a treatable medical condition, not some kind of personality flaw. And this is the most crucial point, the main takeaway here. When a good dog suddenly acts aggressively, it's almost always a symptom of something else. It's a cry for help because of pain or a medical problem. It is not a betrayal of your trust. So we've looked at the biology, we've looked at the veterinary science. Now for the final piece of the puzzle. Let's look at the cold, hard numbers from actual temperament testing. What is this number? 80.1%. This is the official pass rate for Doberman pinschers on the American Temperament Test, which is designed to measure a dog's stability, confidence, and how they react to stressful situations. And check out how this compares to some other breeds you might know. Not only is an 80% pass rate a really strong score, but it's actually higher than a lot of famously family-friendly dogs, like beagles and even chihuahuas. The data itself proves they are statistically very sound, reliable companions. So let's come full circle and answer our original question. Do Dobermans turn on their owners? Well, the overwhelming evidence from biology, from veterinary science, and from temperament data all point to a very clear and resounding no. The myth is just that, a myth. So the real question this leaves us with isn't really about the dog. It's about us. Are we willing to look past the scary story to see the intelligent, loyal, and loving friend that the science shows us is really there?